Hi, Sagittarius. This is Carrie at Wooing Nature, wishing you a happy new year. Glad to be making it into January 2021 with you. I am happy to bring you another reading, hopefully one that will bring you healing and health and vitality, and that will give you the information and the tools that you need to go into the new year with confidence and with grace and with love and with an understanding that you are not alone, that you are a part of the greater picture, and the greater picture is great because of you. All right, Sagittarius, I'm going to be reading from the I-Ching. This is Klaus Holitzka's deck, so these are the I-Ching cards. If you would like an I-Ching reading, you can do that with cards or with coins or with yarrow stalks, depending on which method you prefer. I will be pulling, for the sake of time today, from the cards because it's quicker. And so what I'm going to do is pull one card from the deck, which will represent the overall theme for Sagittarius for all of 2021, because this reading is not just for January. It is for the entirety of 2021. We want to owe it to ourselves to get a broad-reaching, circumspect view of the year ahead. So the second card is the changing lines. Oh, that popped up right quick, didn't it, Sagittarius? All right, so the card that corresponds to what you're going to be dealing with for the all of 21, like a theme for 2021. The card is 8. So for those of you who are numerologically inclined, you may want to look up the 8. For those of you who are following your own I-Ching text, your preferred I-Ching translation, you can go to your own translation and read up on this passage. But again, this is for all of 2021. So this card represents cohesion. We humans are individuals with different inclinations, problems, and standards, but we are all alike in the longing for togetherness, which provides us with an inner homeland. That's nice to know. Don't hesitate too long. Important experiences in life will elude you if you miss the right moment by arriving too late. And usually you arrive late because you're hesitant about something. You're fearful about something. There's something that you think is going to happen that's probably not going to happen. And it has you dragging your feet, and then you miss your opportunity. Doesn't mean the opportunity won't return. It just might return later and not now. And you have to be patient then. Furthermore, your personal scope for action will remain very limited. Consider the responsibilities involved when you believe that you are able to lead others. Think carefully whether you possess the right attributes. Otherwise, you will be merely creating confusion. It's only possible to speak of a cohesive community when each member of the group feels accepted by it. And that is so very true. Because if you're talking about cohesion and family and community and bonding and having your tribe or having your cipher or your group that you know that you're rolling with, in order for everyone to feel like they're a part of the group, and in order for the cohesion to actually happen, everybody has to feel that they're a part. And your part is no lesser or no greater than any other one. It's just as important as everybody else's. All right, so I am looking at the second card for the changing lines, and I will just read the changing lines. That'll give you a little more detail as to, and also it may, some of these lines may resonate with some of you and not with others. So it's more detail, but you know, get in where you fit in is what I say with this. So the second line is a changing line, and that's it. So all the other lines are the same. It's just number 2. So the second line says, keep a tight grip on your moral convictions and maintain your dignity. Those who seek accord at any cost poison the waters of their own well. So those who want what they want at all costs are going to poison the well. So don't get into that. Sagittarius, don't get into that. Maintain your convictions. Maintain your dignity. If anybody says, well, we can do this and it doesn't matter, we can shortcut, or we can go, come up with some fast way of doing it that doesn't resonate with who you are and who your spirit is, then you'll want to deny that. You want to stay away from that. You don't need to be cohesed with that. Okay. All right. So again, this is for all of 2021. It's talking about longing for togetherness, but also about how to build that tribe properly, and without it being creating confusion. Is basically what we're talking about. In other words, what I'm seeing, Sagittarius, don't be so desperate for your tribe that you don't pay attention to what types of energies of the tribe you want to be a part of, because it could be the people that are inviting you to the tribe are not the people. It's not the tribe that you want to be in. Okay. I mean, let's be realistic. Some people might be like, yeah, come on in. And you get up in there and it's all tore up from the floor up. Toilet ain't running. Lights all out, hanging out the ceiling and carrying on. Lights ain't on. Cold and you can't, that might not be the environment you want to be in. That's all I'm saying. So just make sure that whichever tribe you connect to and you attach to, and that you are leading in, because let's not forget that that was given too. Make sure that's the tribe you want to get down with. That's what I'm saying. All right, so I am moving right along. I am in the Spirit of the Wheel cards, the Spirit of the Wheel. I'm only using certain cards in that deck, the cards that are associated with the moon times, so that I can see what's happening for the entire year. So I pulled all 12 of those cards that are related to the moon. Excuse me. And I'm also working with the Sun and Moon Tarot with these to tell me what's going on each part of the month. What's going on each part for each aspect. Okay? For each part. I'm sorry, my nose is really itchy. So I got to go ahead and do that. All right, Rest and Cleansing Moon. This starts in January, mid-January into February. But let's just say at the beginning, the moons of the beginning of the year, January moons. This is the time for you to be resting and cleansing yourself, to balance yourself, balance your relationships. It's a time for you to consider how you want to express yourself. It's also a time for you to set some boundaries as well. So January is a good time to kind of get things back together. I've got the Six of Cups coming in at that time for you. It looks like it's a time of pleasure, a time of joy, a time of playing. So your rest and your cleansing involves playing and enjoying yourself, finding something that you really like, or people that you really like, and doing those things with them. So that's your January. In February, there's going to be a call. There's going to be a message coming through for you. This message is going to change your perspective. It's going to change your scope. It's going to open up your psychic abilities. It's also going to call for you to have a certain level of self-discipline. It may call you to leadership. It definitely is calling you to leadership. It's a time of great power for you, but you need to be listening for the moment. Remember, they talked about not hesitating. February is that time that you don't need to be hesitating, because that's when the timing is for you. All right, so in March, it's when I'm seeing you really own your power. You have the Queen of Wands here in this position. And this is also the time when things are opening up, when the spring is happening. There's some energy and some messages coming from the spirit or from the ancestral realm that you might be receiving at that time. Those things are going to help you with your goals and help you with understanding what your own personal expectations of yourself are. You're going to be feeling very strong. There's also going to be a lot of powerful energy coming in at that time that you'll be able to use. Don't be afraid to use it. So again, the message is about not hesitating, not needing to be hesitant. You don't have to worry about a daggum thing. You're having fun at the beginning of the year, and after that is the call, and after that is your power. You're going to be owning your power at that time. All right, so in April, this is the time when there is renewal happening, there's an opening happening, there may be a portal opening up at that time, so pay attention to your stargates. Pay attention to your stargates. This is between 420 and 520. This is 420 is April and 520 is May. 420, April 20th to May 20th. Sorry. All right. Because this is a time when you're going to be getting past some disappointment. There's some things that may have disappointed you in your past that you may have been feeling or that you may have been holding on to. But I'm getting that this is like whatever it was that was bothering you or whatever it was that was weighing on your heart, you're going to see how that is building a bigger platform for you to express yourself and maybe even express what was happening at that time. It's sort of like the time when your enemy becomes your footstool, or when the hard times become the roadblocks become stepping stones, something like that. All right, so in May, yeah, in May, I'm seeing that your awareness is heightened. Your awareness is heightened. We've got eagle energy coming in. You're leading in with eagle energy. And then here I'm also getting the deer energy in the time period. So the deer energy is awareness. It's like self-awareness and awareness of your environment. The deer is very sharp. It can see everything and sense senses, really, it senses. But it also sees, has keen seeing, keen hearing, and that's how it knows how to move and keep itself out of danger. I'm seeing that as a measure of leadership for you, or maybe that's the lesson that comes with the leadership lesson that you are getting. I keep getting leadership, but not in a big Leo kind of lion roaring, that kind of energy. It's very subtle, but it keeps coming up. Leadership keeps coming up, but it's coming up in these little creaky, not creepy ways, but like little quiet ways that this leadership is showing up for you. And so it's showing up for you in May, around the time of May. All right. And so this is the time. Strong sun's moon is, again, we're talking about June when it starts to get hot. The weather is opening. You're starting to connect with other people, seeing other people. And when you start to do that, you feel a loss of power at that phase. You're feeling like you're not as strong as you were before. No, all it is that that's the time when you're actually going to start expressing yourself and expressing the things that you learned or the experiences that you had while you were held in. And it's not that what you experienced you didn't feel. It's just that this is going to be your first time actually articulating it in a social environment where you may be feeling insecure about the information that you got, or you might be like, I'm not sure if people are going to be able to understand what I'm talking about, or you might feel like people think, oh my God, I don't want to talk about that because people are going to think I'm crazy or something. But the Princess is a messenger card, so it is about spreading your message. It is about sharing your excitement, sharing your excitement. So don't let that get you down. Like if you're feeling a little inarticulate about it, it's only because this is your first time expressing it. It's not because what you experienced wasn't real or anything like that. And it's certainly not because you're crazy, but you're going to know that too. So the Ripe Berries moon, this is July. No, this is July. Around July is when there's going to be a call to center yourself again. There's some life lessons that you may be experiencing around that time. I'm seeing that those experiences might have something to do with something that you may be building upon, or that you may be thinking about, or thoughts that you may be having. And then there's like this idea that, no, that's not the idea at all. So you're going to have to do a shift in thinking around that time. A shift in the way you think about things. Okay. I feel like this has to do with this. I think that after you have this experience in this social gathering in June, around the time of June, you're going to be feeling inadequate, or you're going to be feeling less than, or you're going to be feeling like maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But that has something to do with the ego. So during the time right after that is when you're going to address those ego issues that are showing up for you. It's an ego issue. It's like, it's an attachment to how you want to be perceived in the world. But at this time, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It really does not matter. I'm serious about that. How people perceive you in the world right now does not matter, because right now they got to deal with their own self-perception. Everybody's got to deal with their own self-perception. Sagittarius. And so if you're feeling like your self-perception is off because of what somebody might have said in a group setting about what it was that you were experiencing that you feel passionate about, that's on them. That don't have anything to do with you. But you're still going to be working through that, because this is something that has to be released, okay? Has to be let go of. All right, around the time of the harvest moon, this is August, moving into the fall part of the year. We have a change here. It could be change in a love relationship or a relationship. So for those of you who have been pondering or thinking that perhaps the relationship that you're in is not the relationship you need to be in, then you can anticipate that sometime in August, September, right before the fall equinox comes in, you may be making some different decisions about your relationship. For those of you who are not in a relationship, then that might be the time for you to be considering or taking into consideration what it is that you want in a relationship moving forward. It's a good time to do this, because we're talking about the harvest moon phase. We're talking about harvesting. And so if your relationship is not yielding the fruit that you want, it's time to cut the fruit off, the plant up, pull it up, and don't plant it no more. And then for those of you who are thinking about planting seeds for a new relationship, this is a good time to do it, because that's during the harvest time. So whatever you plant gets that blessing of the harvest. All right, so as we move into September, full-fledged, there is a need for some movement to happen. Again, we're talking about that hesitation. So things are going to shift again. Things are going to be open. There's going to be an opening for movement that you need to be in synchronicity with. And that synchronicity is going to fall somewhere at toward the end of September, going into October. That's when the movement is happening. So it's just letting you know when it's going to be, so that you can be aware of it. Remember, you got one in February, and now you got another period of time coming in at the end of September, going into October. So October is a rebalancing time. I'm going to show you that in a minute. October going into November is a rebalancing time. That's the time you're going to have to take stock of everything that's happened so far, and you're going to have to come up with, okay, this is new rules. This is how I'm going to handle myself. This is what's going to happen for me, okay? Again, that is October, November. October mostly. It's about rebalancing. It's internal balance. It's like the balance that we're talking about is the balance that allows you to flow with your energy and to flow. And so your energy can flow from one place to the other, without you having to manipulate, without you having to do a whole lot. It's just like being at peace with oneself so that the energy can flow properly. And that's what you're going to be focusing on at that time. When November happens, I'm seeing a disappointment, or addressing a disappointment, or addressing an emotional issue that comes up around that time. This is October going into December, toward the latter part of the year. It's going to require some communication on your part. It's also going to take some contemplation, because you want to be very clear about what it is that's actually bothering you or disappointing you. This may be a conversation that is left over for some of you who have made a decision not to move on with the relationship. Back in August, you may be revisiting that, or maybe revisiting your feelings around that during that time. But I'm seeing that contemplation is important, but also communication is important too. So just remember, if there's things that are disappointing you or are bothering you around that time of October, November, just know that communication, contemplation, really understanding what's bothering you, and then communicating that very thing to whoever needs to hear it is great, including it can just be your therapist, and that's fine. All right, and then in December, we have some things balancing themselves out. You're able to free your heart up from the disappointment or from the sadness, and then your heart feels a little freer, and you can feel like you're in a better place of balance. So it seems like the latter part of next year is really about balancing your heart out, balancing your heart energy, the energy around your heart out, so that you yourself can be balanced, because it seems like that's the thing that may be still a hiccup for some of you. All right. All right, Sagittarius, that is your reading for 2021. You are welcome to come back to this reading throughout the year just to gauge and see where you are. That's what makes this reading just a tad bit different than the readings that I normally do. But I just feel like, because of the year that we had last year, it just makes sense to give ourselves a fair head start on what may be happening in 2021, from January all the way to December, just to give ourselves a sense of reassurance that all is well, that life will go on, and that we don't have to be afraid of it or be fearful of it, or we also don't have to over anticipate what may happen there. Just being in reality, I think, in 2021, walking into 2021 with a clear sense of reality is what's going to benefit you, Sagittarius, and benefit all of us the most. So stay grounded, stay centered, do your meditation, do your prayer. Stay tuned with what's happening astrologically. I will be putting up lots of information about the astrology. The Astro Pulse comes out on Facebook, and also on Facebook and Twitter. So if you want to keep up with the Astro Pulse, you have to look at Facebook and Twitter for both of those. So I'll be putting that information there. If you would like to take the deeper dive, you know where to find me. I'm at Carrie@wooingnature.life. Also, you can find the website at wooingnature.life for all of the services that are available through Wooing Nature, not just the insights, which this is a form of insight or general insight. So if you want to take the deeper dive, you want to look more deeply into your own personal experience and what's happening with you, and how you can get unstuck and get moving in a different direction, and how we can coach you intuitively. And you can find us on those channels, Wooing Nature, all of them. If you'd like to donate to the channel, I'm on Cashapp. The cash tag is Wooing Nature as well. Okay, so as always, I hope you have a pleasant day. I hope you have a great January. I hope you have a fantastic 2021, and I hope you're, as always, having a wonderful life.